I am Michelle, so welcome from wherever you're joining us from. Today we're hoping that I've got my husband ready to read for us for the comments, so we're going to see if we can do a little better than last time. We're trying to get this live thing to go maybe a little bit smoother. Anyway, tonight's recipe is going to be one that I haven't ever tried before, but it sounds awesome. It's chicken thighs with sage and lemon in a white wine sauce. So I think it'll be really, really yummy. Anyway, in order to make that, we need to, of course, have our ingredients out and ready. We're going to need some butter, some sage, some kosher salt, pepper, some lemon zest, some lemon slices, some garlic, some chicken thighs, and I have it thawing in my microwave some chicken stock. So let's get started. The first thing that we have to do, I've already patted these dry, so they're ready to go. Now the recipe is actually intended for 8 of these. We do not need 8 of these. There are not that many people in this household, so I'm only doing 4, but I'm keeping everything else the same. You also need to have a pan lined with foil, and the recipe says to heat the oven to 375. I'm going with 400 because for roasting chicken, to me that seems, I mean, we are going to cook it in the pan first, but I think that we should go with a slightly higher temperature for roasting chicken just to make sure that it gets nice and crispy and done. So that's my there. I'm going to set that aside for a minute. So first thing is with this butter, we've got 3 tablespoons of the butter here in the bowl. To that, I'm going to be adding 2 tablespoons of chopped up sage. And then the zest of 1 lemon. It doesn't say like any particular size, so I just used what I think is pretty much an average size lemon. Nothing too large, nothing too small. And then we need a 1/2 teaspoon of the kosher salt. And a 1/4 teaspoon of the pepper. And since we do have someone to read the comments, we'll see if you need to ask any questions or anything or say hello. My husband can tell me if that's happening. Has anybody joined us yet? No? Okay. But you are seeing the broadcast okay? All right, perfect. All right, so we're just gonna kind of squish this together. Basically makes like a compound butter. That's what's happening here. It's about as good as I'm going to get it. And what we're gonna be doing with that is we're gonna be putting that underneath the skin here. So I'm gonna try to make my little pocket, see where I can open up in here to get underneath there. There we go. So you just use a couple of fingers to kind of make a pocket underneath your skin of the chicken. Chicken thighs, I should say. And so I'm going to take some of that butter and I'm going to just kind of try to divide that up in here. And what I like to do is just kind of squish it out once I get it underneath there. Great. So it sounds, my husband has informed me that there's 9 people watching so far, so welcome. Thank you for joining us. I'm so happy that you're here. So let's get some more of this butter put in here. Again, I just kind of massage that so that it gets spread out underneath there. Today was a beautiful day outside here where I live, which is the Chicago suburbs. So I hope it was beautiful where you live too. All right, almost there. This is kind of a lot for the last one. And this one, the skin on it, it was actually kind of lifted up already. So I'm just gonna be kind of trying to pop that down in there like that so that it stays like that. This one seems like it needs a bit more. It's kind of a larger thigh. Same for this one. Maybe it needs just a little bit more in this one, I think we'll put just a bit more of two. That one's pretty small, so I don't think it needs quite as much. All right, I've divided all of that up. Gonna get my hands clean now because ew. Give me a second to wash my hands off. Alright, so next we're going to be cooking the thighs in this pan right here. So I'm going to be heating this over medium heat. Are there some comments that we need to hear about? Maybe, maybe not. Now, what you're hearing right now is I'm over at the stove. I've got some fried potatoes that I'm going to be preparing along with this. And if we do not tell me to put anything in the pan to cook this, I think we need maybe some olive oil. Because you can't just cook this dry, so I'm just going to put a spurge of olive oil there. Get that heated up. Once that's heated up, I'm going to be putting the chicken skin side down into the skillet here. And then we're going to be getting that basically brown. I want the skin to get browned. Oh, the name of this recipe is chicken thighs with sage, lemon, white wine sauce. Thank you for letting me know what that question was. And you know, I think I'm going to go ahead and put some of the salt and pepper on the thighs as well. Doesn't say do that, but that's a pretty typical thing to do. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that. Chef's decision. Alright, so let's get these into the pan. Pull my stuff around with it. So that skin side down, we're going to be doing that. So this is going to cook for probably about 5 to 7 minutes. Meanwhile, I'm just going to be putting away a couple of things here. On that, I'm going to wash my hands again. And I'm going to check on my potatoes to see how they're doing. Wonderful over here. I've got just a bit so they can get crisp. And meanwhile, one of the other things I'm going to need is some lemon juice at the end. So I'm going to go ahead and juice a little bit of this lemon here. And then on the edge of my cutting board. We're going to need a tablespoon. Ooh, that's quite a lot. If you don't have one, I recommend having a device like this for juicing your lemon. It makes it so much easier. I use this a little bit. I usually squeeze at the end like I did to start with, but I realized how much I need. I'm like, oh, okay. Let me get my handy device here. Let's get this pretty good. I guess that's going to be a tablespoon there. I'll measure it out when the time comes. hoping that I can make these live videos a bit of a series for us. So if I have the chance, I'll try to do this maybe every Saturday, maybe on another day, just depending, because right now my schedule's been really busy, like I said. And I'm sorry if our sound hasn't been very good. I was just informed that I forgot to put in the correct sound setting there. Could you go ahead and take care of that for us? See if it works. The microphone. Is it going now? Is it going? Not sure? Okay. It doesn't tell us, but he thinks maybe it's fixed now. So if you guys can let me know if you hear me better now. We did plug in the microphone. Sorry about that. We're trying to be smoother, but we just haven't made it there yet. But I'm still very happy everyone is here with us, no matter. How many do we have watching? We're down to 4. Okay, well, thank you for the 4 of you who are here. Maybe a few more come in later, who knows? All right, let's see how we're doing here. Oh yeah, it's getting some nice brown skin under there. Let that go for maybe a minute or 2 more. And once that is ready, we're going to be putting it on our baking sheet. Like I said, you want to line that with the foil. Make sure that that's ready to go. And I think since I put it in some stuff here, we'll be able to not have to grease the sheet or anything, or the foil or anything like that. These are looking really good. I can hardly wait for this because it just sounds so delicious, and the smell of the sage while I was cutting it up was just, I love cutting up the herbs. Fresh herbs are just the best. I mean, it's great to use dried ones too, but definitely if you can, use fresh herbs if the recipe, of course, wants you to. All right, let's cut this heat down. Oh, look at that. Look how beautifully golden that is. That looks perfect for us. Not to let the pan keep the skin. Oh, yeah. Awesome. Beautiful. Oh, those look crispy and awesome. And so what we're going to do is put these in with the skin side up, like what you see me doing here. I'm going to transfer those to the oven. Those are going to need to be in the oven for at least 15 minutes. We'll check them after 15 and see how they're doing. Give my potatoes another stir. Oh, they're looking perfect. You hear that? Oh, it's nice and crackly. It's going to be perfect here in just a minute. Now, for what's left in the pan here, we only need to keep 2 tablespoons of this. So I'm going to go ahead and we'll just use this because it's already, that's what I use for the sage, but that's fine. Sorry for a second there, camera guy. All right, we only need 2 tablespoons. So carefully, try not to get burned or anything. 1 and 2, approximately 2 tablespoons. It doesn't have to be perfect. All right, and we are to return that to a medium heat. All right, we've got that on the medium heat. And we are going to be now putting in, this is that same lemon that I used the zest from. I sliced it up into these approximately 1/4 inch slices. So we're going to be putting those in here. And it says we want to cook those until they're seared, which is estimated to be about 3 minutes. All right, meanwhile, I'm going to check on my potatoes one more time since they're getting pretty close to being done. Oh yeah, crackle, crackle, perfection. All right, I think my potatoes are ready, so I'm just going to put them on low heat so they can stay warm. Oh, don't those slices look great? And I love the smell of lemon. I'm sure most everybody does too. It doesn't say to turn them or anything, so I'm just going to let them cook. Got about another 2 minutes or so to let those cook. Meanwhile, we'll just enjoy how it smells. And if anybody's got any comments or questions, have we had any? No? Okay. Well, that's fine too. If we get any, we get any. If we don't, last time we had people saying hello, so feel free to tell us hello, where you're from, anything that you want to add. We'd be happy to hear from you. Have another 1.5 minutes on letting these get seared. Looking pretty good here. Got a piece of the chicken skin there, but that's fine. That'll just be part of our sauce. It's not a problem. Oh, and I need to retrieve my stock from the microwave where I was thawing it out. It's my homemade stock. So I've got that ready to go because we're going to need that here in just a minute. All right, I'll put these to the side. And I'm not sure if we'll need to maybe, I just feel like we might need to flip these over. Yeah, let's flip those. Oh yeah, look at that. They're definitely getting seared. I feel like it's strange to only cook them on one side. You see, that's the thing about when you follow someone else's recipe, sometimes you're going to need to make modifications because they might not leave all the instructions there for you. Oops, a little bit. Oh yeah, that looks much better. And those are definitely smelling like they're ready. And it says once those are ready, we want to remove them from the pan. So I guess we'll go right back to where they were. I think they're just supposed to be part of the flavor in here. Okay, we're now going to be throwing in our garlic. This is 2 cloves of garlic that I have chopped up really finely. We're just going to cook that for a moment until it gets fragrant, because we do not want that to burn by any means. And now we're going to add in the stock. This is 1 cup of homemade chicken stock. That made a lot of steam. And so I'm going to be reducing this. So this is going to take a few minutes for this to come to a boil and reduce. But while it does, that stuff that you see there that's kind of stuck to the bottom of the pan, you want to get that scraped up. That's called the fond. And the fond is something that will add to the flavor of your sauce. And I guess this chicken piece is just kind of annoying me, so I'm just going to get him out of here. So it says we're supposed to basically try to get this reduced by half. It estimates 8 to 10 minutes. I don't know. This is a fairly large pan, so I'm not so sure we'll need quite that long. But we'll use the same measure cup so that we can see what our progress is after a few minutes. The other nice thing about stirring up the fondant into this makes your pan easier to clean afterwards. Oh, it says before we do that, we need to put in the wine. Okay, so I missed reading that, sorry. So we are gonna go ahead and put in the wine with this. This is a half cup of dry white wine that I've put in. And this one is the Chateau Saint Michel Sauvignon Blanc. You could use Chardonnay would be great with this, I'm sure. So Sauvignon Blanc and Chardonnay are my go-tos. There's definitely a lot of other dry white wines out there that you could be using. All right, so we'll want that to keep going until it gets reduced. That's going to take us a couple of minutes. So again, if anybody has comments or anything like that, this would be a great time for you to get in and tell us where you're watching from or anything like that. That would be awesome to hear from you. I'm also going to take a peek in at the chicken here. Oh, it's looking so good in there. And another thing that I'm going to need to have ready, it does tell me I need 2 tablespoons of butter. So I'm going to get the 2 tablespoons of butter ready. So sorry for being a little bit off camera for that. I need to grab a little dish that I can put that on. I try to think of all the dish things that I'll need before we start, but I'm telling you that's not the easiest thing to think of. You think, yeah, I'll remember. Okay, I need this one, I need this pan. And I don't know how it goes for you when you're cooking, but a lot of times it's like while I'm cooking, I'm like, oh yeah, I need that. Oh goodness. All right, so for these other 2 tablespoons of butter, I just have that one left over and I'll get one more. And we're gonna be cutting those up into a couple little pieces. Because that is gonna go into our sauce to finish it out towards the end there. And see, I did remember to get myself out a plate. I have the plate ready for when it's time to eat it. So that's ready. I just heard the oven make its famous yawning noise over there. Or I don't know if anybody else's oven does it. We have a gas oven and it every so often just makes this like, it's like a sigh or a yawn sound. I don't know why it does that, but it does. It's kind of funny. All right, this is looking really good here. Just kind of stirring it to check and see a little bit of how much we have there. And then it says at the end, if we want to, we can put extra sage. I think it's already going to have enough sage, so I'm not terribly concerned about that. And I guess since we're waiting, we could also be measuring out the lemon juice that we're going to need at the end, that tablespoon. So I'm going to measure up our tablespoon of lemon juice while we're waiting. How does that look? Do we have a tablespoon there? Yes, that's a tablespoon. All right. So I get a little bit of lemon juice left over. That's just fine. Lots of things we can use for lemon juice, of course. All right, I'll just wipe up things a little bit. That's what I'm usually doing off camera. So we can have things kind of cleaned up in advance a little bit at least. See how that's doing. All right, let's have a quick measure. So I'm gonna put it on pause. All right, how are we doing there? Looks like we have made it down to almost a cup. So we need to get down to 3/4 of a cup. So we have just a little bit to go there. Not bad, not bad. Yes, I know I made a little bit of a mess there. I am going to increase my heat just slightly because this is hard. This particular burner for medium, there's kind of 2 settings that seem to work the best. If you get one of these, this is actually pretty practical, this little induction burner, but it goes by a temperature. It doesn't say like medium, so 300, 260 or 300 Fahrenheit seems to be approximately medium, but it really depends on exactly what it's cooking to. Anyway, we'll just hurry up and wait for that to finish. The chicken is about 3 minutes from where we need to check it. I'm going to go ahead and grab my thermometer so that we can see if the internal temperature is going to be correct there. Remember that when you're cooking chicken, you want to get it to 165 degrees Fahrenheit as its internal temperature. Or sorry, 160 or 160, it depends, 160, 165, somewhere around there. At least 160, but 165 is better. Oh, it's looking so good and smelling great. Do we have any other comments? Anything? How many people are watching now? We've got 10 watching. Hello, all 10 of you out there watching. Again, thank you so much for being with me. I'm so happy to have you here. And of course, the recording will be available afterwards. And we are still working on hopefully getting some other videos posted that are not live. If there's anything that you ever want to request for me to make, the page for our YouTube channel, it has my email address. You can always email me. It's cuisinedemichelle@gmail.com. But also, you can feel free to make a comment on any of the other videos, things like that, or you can comment on a community post. I love hearing from you guys, and especially on our videos. It helps us a lot if you can make comments, even if you just say, looks yummy or something like that. That really helps support us. All right, let's see how our sauce is doing here. It's looking really good. I'm thinking about the time that finishes up, it's probably going to be time for the sauce to be done. Do that. I'm going to leave that off there for now. I'm going to turn it off this time. All right, so the chicken timer is about to go off. I think as soon as it goes off, I'm going to check and see how far along the sauce is here. I'm going to go ahead and turn the timer off there before it dings. Let's have a pause here and see how far we are. How has our reduction gone? A bit better pouring it this time. Okay. I'm going to say we maybe just need another minute. So while I'm checking on the chicken, I think that will be just about right for us. Excellent. All right, let me get that chicken out. Camera guy, you can come over if you want to see the chicken over here as it comes out. Okay, don't mind me messing with my stove. It has a little quirk that makes it really fun sometimes to take things out of here. Looks really tasty. And the juice that's coming off of here doesn't seem like it has any pink in it, so that's a good sign. Let's see what temperature it reads. If my, oh no, did my batteries die in my thermometer? I have another one if it did. Well, this is just the thing today. I can't have things work when I want them to. Let me grab my other thermometer. If it's not dead too. Aha. It's going. All right, let's give it a try here and see what we've got. Well, it looks like it's plenty. And see the juices that are coming off, they don't have pink in them, so I think we are good. I'm just going to make sure. These are the bigger chicken thighs, so I usually test it in a couple of spots just to make sure I'm not, see there, that was not quite all the way in, but that's registering at 149, so this might need just a couple more minutes. I think while we finish off the sauce a little bit, we're going to pop these back in. I just want to make sure, because even though I don't see pink coming in the juices, sometimes I get surprised, and I don't like that. So I'm definitely glad that I went with the higher temperature for this. All right, this looks like it's definitely going to be reduced now. Let's go. Okay, so we can turn our heat off. We are to just keep that cut like that. And then we are going to be putting in 2 tablespoons of butter. So these are just in these little cubes that I made them in like that. We're going to be swirling those in on the juice there. Sauce, I should say. And we'll just go ahead and remove this entirely from the heat. So I might hold the mess there. I don't want to have that sitting there. There we go. The nice thing about induction, it does actually cut the heat, but there's still a bit of residual heat that it'll keep there. So that's why I decided, we'll just go ahead and take it all the way off. Is there a comment? Oh, just a hello from whom? Okay. So, hello. 17? All right. Hello, 17 people out there. Thank you. Okay, so what we've done here is we swirled in those 2 tablespoons of the butter, and then we are now going to put in the lemon juice. So this is just 1 tablespoon of the lemon juice. And then we're going to put in, it says salt and pepper to taste, so I'm just going to put a bit in. Kosher salt isn't quite as powerful as regular small grain salt, so you don't have to worry too much. That's not probably as much salt as what it looks like. And of course, we can always salt it again if we need to. All right. That is our pan sauce there. Looking beautiful. Now, the chicken's had a couple more minutes to cook, so I'm going to bet it's probably ready now. We're going to check it again, see how we're doing. All right, let's try another poke here. Oops, it turned off. Let's try again, see where we are. So that was coming up at really high temperature, but I think it was this one that was more the concern. This one's registering 160 now, so we should be good to go. All right, let's cut our heat for the oven, and I'm gonna plate this so that we can have a taste test. Now, in order to plate it, I think, just to be sure, I'm gonna go ahead and cut into one of these chicken thighs to see how is it looking and also help it start getting cooled down. Oops. Yep. We've got, there is some pink though still on that one. So I think maybe the smallest one, we may have to put it back in. Yep. Sometimes it happens. It's, even if you have the thermometer, you can hit a spot where it's plenty hot enough. And I have to type a slightly higher temperature because my oven's not very correctly calibrated. I'll work on that one day, but I just haven't done that yet. But I'm gonna bet this piece, because it's the smaller piece, is probably ready. This one looks like, no. Nope, we still need to go a little bit more. I had my doubts on that being enough time for chicken like that to cook. All right, but the advantage is now that I've opened it up, even though it's not as pretty of a presentation, it will still, it'll actually cook a little bit faster now. So I'm going to leave that for at least another 5 minutes to make sure that it's actually getting done. And for that reason, I'll put this back here so it gets some of that residual heat and keeps it in there. And after this, I'm actually planning on making some fudge crinkles for a dessert. My son has been wanting some cookies, me too, because I love cookies. I'm also hoping, just some upcoming plans, I'm hoping to make some Halloween-oriented things. I am planning to have a Halloween party, so I'll be preparing some things in advance for that and hoping to share some of those with you. If anybody out there is going to be doing anything Halloween themed, I'd love it if you shared with us. I'm very happy to see other people's things, especially if you go to my Blue Sky. If you go to my Blue Sky account, which I haven't been as active on as I would like, but I am trying to get better. But there's pictures from past recipes, and I'd be happy to see comments from you where you share maybe a picture for something you made. I'm very happy to have all of you here as part of our community, if you will. All right, so we'll go another 4 minutes or so and check on that chicken again. Let's see, what else could we say here? Oh, and I was thinking I'm going to have some salad with this. So excuse me for a second. I'm going to go to my fridge and get the salad out because I'm thinking, I hope it's still good. We've had it in there for a few days. I think it's going to be all right. It looks like it's still okay. So yeah, I think we'll have some salad to go along with our meal here. When I have salad, I usually put just some balsamic vinegar and olive oil on it. I usually make a little mixture of it, and sometimes I just put them on separately. Makes for just a real simple salad, a nice little green leaf thing to make a good accompaniment for the meal. And the other thing is, of course, since this recipe has wine in it, I'm going to be having a glass of that particular wine. When you cook with a wine, a lot of times you do want to cook with something that you would prefer to actually drink yourself. Doesn't have to be that every time, but you definitely are going to not have as good of a result if you just buy something really cheap and use that just because and definitely don't buy cooking wines. Those have extra salt in them so that they aren't good for people to actually drink, if you were ever wondering about that. All right, we got about 2-3 more minutes, I think, on our chicken. Let's see how that goes. Meanwhile, yep, my potatoes have stayed nice and hot, so there's my potatoes in there. They don't look super attractive because I wasn't like stirring and trying to make them look any particular way, so they kind of got a little overcooked in a way, but I'm okay with them not looking super fantastic. It's not about the looks, it's about the taste, right? All right, so I hope that this time when we bring these up, and I'm gonna need to clean my silverware since we cut into that and it was not quite ready. But do remember that with chicken thighs, they do have pink meat inside of them a little bit, so you're not going to get rid of 100% of pink. It's going to be more like a dark pink, so don't freak out if you still have a little bit of pink and you've never done chicken thighs before, because that is normal. Somebody in our neighborhood is enjoying some music. They must be having maybe a party tonight. I can kind of hear their bass notes outside.
Michael Hinson says, I actually like my fried potatoes a little overcooked sometimes. They'll be great.
Okay, so some people do like their fried potatoes a little bit overcooked sometimes, and that can be okay. I know that for a while my brother really liked having them super crispy. So some people really like that kind of fond stuff that happens. I put mine in the nonstick because I wasn't going to be able to monitor the cooking as quickly this time. And I thought, well, at least if they're in the nonstick, they won't get burned all the way to the bottom. I was afraid I would just have a whole pan of them stuck to the bottom if I did it in the regular pan. So they're good either way. All right, let's pull this out and have another check. see how this is looking now. See, the juice doesn't look. Usually if you have stuff that's underdone, we got a little bit here, but it's not pink. It's just kind of a yellowy color. So let's see what we've got. It's kind of hard to tell right there, but I think this one's ready. Yeah, this one's ready. All right. The smallest one is ready for sure. Let me check on the other one here. How's it looking? Oh yeah, that's much better. So I'm going to assume this one's fairly good size and about the same size as these. So I'm going to assume those are ready. All right. Let's get this ready to serve with some sauce. Let's bring it back over here for that. And we need our ladle so that we can serve that. And the sauce ladle to go on here. Oh, yeah. And you'll definitely, if you have to leave it for a moment, you'll want to give a stir to your sauce because it does separate just a little bit. So we can go serve that. Oh, yeah, look at that. That's going to be beautiful. All right, let's see how this tastes. I'm going to try not to burn my mouth doing it. Yeah, so that's beautiful. That's nice and totally cooked. No problems there. Oh my goodness, this smells so good. I wish I could let you smell this. I'm trying to make myself not get burned though. Oh my gosh, so good. It's a perfect balance between the lemon and the sage, and it's just the right salt level. I really love it. I am so ready to eat this. I hope that you'll give this recipe a try, and thank you so much to everybody who was able to join us tonight. I hope you'll be able to join us for some upcoming episodes and check out some of our other videos that are already posted. Have a great Saturday, and we'll see you next time. Au revoir.